In this video, let's explore how to add some of the woodwinds into our orchestration. Now, woodwinds are great expressive instruments. Some of these woodwinds are quite high up in the tonal range and can be used to add some extra flourishes into a piece, especially if these woodwinds are doing crazy fast and high runs. I'm not going to be working with all of the winds in this section. I mainly just want to add in some flourishes with the flutes and clarinets. It'll give it a slight different tonal quality and add in some extra bits of interest for the listener. So for this flute, let's program in a super fast and high run. Some sample libraries do have orchestral runs built into some of the instruments, which makes it a lot easier to record in. But let's try program our own one in. So for this flute, it's going to play up in the C minor scale, and let's get it to pass through 2 octaves. So let's just take a listen through and see where a run would suit it. So round about at bar 12, it would be quite nice to have a super fast flute run that runs up over 2 high octaves. So to program this in, let's first make a region and then open this up in the piano editor. So I said somewhere around bar 12, it would be nice for the flute to start here and run all the way up and then run back down. And this is going to be in the C minor scale. So first I just want to set the interval length. I'm going to set it at 16th triplets and just program in a part that runs up from C to C6 over the C minor scale. And I'm just going to speed through this so that you don't have to listen to me program in each one. And I'm just going to duplicate that. So that's running up. And then it's going to reach the high C here. And for this, let's make it run down a lot faster than it took to run up those 2 octaves. So I'm just going to shorten that grid so that I know exactly where to place these shorter notes going down. And just zoom up and go back down the scale. Again, I'm going to just do this super fast so you don't have to listen to each note being edited. And that last note can just sustain out. And for this to be more effective, let's change the articulation. So for the beginning, it'll be nice for this run to be a very short staccato articulation. And then for that last note, it can ring out on sustain. So something like this. Just want to see if that's catching that last note. Let's pull this in slightly. That's pretty cool. And I want the clarinets to do the same thing, but just an octave under this. So I can just take this, copy it down, select all those notes and shift them down. And also do the same with the articulation. So it'll be a sustain on the end. And the rest will be a staccato, something like this. And then listening through. Over here. At bar 16, it would be quite nice to add in some woodwind trills just for some different flavor to the piece. So first, let's change the articulation for these instruments. On the flutes, it can go to a trills articulation. This one has half-tone and whole-tone trills. Then on the clarinet, I have this half-tone trills. Now, how it works on this instrument is if you play two keys at the same time, either a half-tone or whole tone apart, it'll play the respective trill. So to create a C trill for this instrument, I'm going to play down B and C at the same time. So let's record this in. I'm going to go from bar 16. Just see if that worked. Sometimes this gets a bit funny. That's cool. I quite like that. And then for the clarinets, this will be an octave down. Let's try record that in. Let's take a listen to these two together. And the important thing, I just want to hear, if I just look at those two together, and I can just shift them slightly more in on key. Cool. And just to give some more flavor to these instruments, let's add in some mod wheel expression data. So I'm going to record in another pass and just change up the mod wheel just to give some detail to it. And then the same for the flutes. Let's take a listen to those. Cool. So just in the context of the whole song now, here's just those extra flourishes of the woodwinds. So the mix is a bit all over the place, but I'll change this up so that you can hear these in more detail when I get into the mixing process. And it's not like the woodwinds play the whole time. There's just these short moments of winds to just help really give the piece some extra sparkle. Next, what also works to add some interest to these pieces is to add in some sporadic choir parts within the piece. Let's take a look at how this is done.